What's up, everyone? Joe Fucarino, Therapy Without a Degree, chapter. I think we're at chapter 204, right? I think this is chapter 204, 204, maybe 205. This week it is just me today, right? So it is just me. Zane is over here working really hard, and then Tay is. Actually, they're both working right now. Zane and Tay, and Natalie isn't with us this week, but we here. Right? So you already know we here, and then we have a very, very special guest virtually. All right. What up, Kyndra? You want to introduce yourself to everybody?
Yes, wait, you got rapper Lil Zane in the back? You said Zane is in the back, like little rapper Lil Zane.
Well, we have a host named Zane, and
don't answer that question. Let me tell you something. When I ask questions, do not answer them because
don't even answer them.
Be some of the craziest. I'm gonna give you a perfect example. So my mama, like, this is way before I was born, because my mom, I got old ass parents. I think like they actually had me to Ron Isaacs between the sheets because they're like 40 to 50 years older than me. So anyway. So my mama told me that she was like, when she was in her early 20s with her first set of kids, she actually had died for like, I don't know, 10 minutes or so. And she said she saw herself floating up. I said, did you see birds in a plane? And this is like recent, I asked her this. Did you see birds in a plane while you were floating up in the sky? And she laughed at me. She's like, no, Kyndra, I did not see birds and planes when I was floating in the sky. I'm like, okay. So yes, my name is Kyndra Crump, AKA the H. Well, I can't use profanity, right?
Nah, you can. You good.
Okay, cool, because I was about to go on a tangent. My name is Kyndra Crump, a.k.a. the H and I C, because I am the head nigga in charge. I'm so much of the H and I C that's my Wi-Fi connector name, and it was going to be my license plate, but I guess I had to try from next year because I don't know exactly how to like characterize, but I feel like they're going to charge extra because these people are haters. So probably, yes, born and raised in Atlanta. I've been here since I was 0. So you know how you've been in a place for so long. You get bored and you want to travel out. Well, I'm trying to travel to Rapper the Game's house, but he's not responding back to my DM. So JC on Terrell Taylor. All right, you hear me? I'm tired of shouting your name out. This is probably the 100th podcast that I did in about 4 months. I'm tired. I know you listen to this podcast, okay? I know you do. I know you fuck with the gang, okay? Respond back to my DM, doggone it.
Word.
That I sent you on April 19th, 2020 and April 19th, 2021, 8:08 p.m. 9:38 p.m. I'm not playing with you. Okay, I'm not playing with you, sir.
Hey,
but yeah, that's it.
Answer her. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
So, we last week we didn't drop an episode, so hopefully everyone that's listening to this wasn't too mad because it was kind of random. It was kind of like out of the blue, but we went away. I went away a little bit to the Poconos with Zane, and we enjoyed ourselves for his birthday. And then by the time we got back, it was already too late to drop for our normal drop. So I was like, you know what? We're going to take the week off. We're going to enjoy ourselves. We don't really take that many weeks off. So that was that. And what about yourself, yo? What you been up to these last few days? What's going on with you? What's
came off vacation.
Okay.
Came off vacation. I was like in California, Arizona. I was in Florida, Illinois for 3 weeks. And then it was, eating a hole through my wallet. And I was like, okay, well, I need to go home now. I come home. There was nothing in the fridge except lima beans. Somebody ate all my food. I wonder who. So I was like, I want to go back on vacation because I'm bored and I'm hungry. And then that was it. So that, hey, I just been traveling, living my best life, kind of getting half naked on the gram because it was my birthday and graduation. And I say y'all enjoy this now because I'm not getting naked again until my birthday of next year. But it's only gonna be one time.
They gotta wait a little bit.
I think I got an idea. I'll be like in a bathtub or something like that, just looking at the camera like a cat.
Okay. Followers are definitely going to go up. Let's go.
That's not true. You know how many times I done thirst trap and the follower didn't go up? It just got to my DM saying, you look nice. I'm like, I know I do. Now, what do you want? I want to take you out all the way in Africa? Go away.
Yo, for real. There be some people like living in really random places like, yo, fam, like, no. Like, you can't. How are we going to link up? Like, it's crazy, yo. But all right, so we have that. You've been out here enjoying yourselves a little bit everywhere. I need to do some traveling again soon too, even though we just went away.
How many states have you been to thus far?
How many states? That's a good question. I've probably only been to like 6, 7. I mean, that's not counting.
That's not okay.
I don't know if I count
your state.
I don't know if I count passing through. Like if I didn't stay there a night, I don't count it. So I've definitely been because I drove to Florida, but I don't count every single one because I didn't stay there. You know, so Jersey, North Carolina, Florida, Colorado, Cali. Been around a little bit, a couple places, but going to Myrtle Beach soon too. So I'm gonna be doing that in August. Going to Myrtle Beach in South Carolina.
Okay. Now, would you normally go with a crew, or would you be by yourself?
I usually do the by myself type of thing. The crew thing is kind of like new. Like Myrtle Beach, I'm going with a group of friends. Actually, I usually mix it up. It's kind of usually half and half. Usually half and half. It's either usually me and I bring a friend, or, you know, a couple people.
Gotcha.
You know, it really depends on the vibe. Or sometimes I just go away myself, you know.
And there's nothing wrong with that because you learn, like, you can't wait on nobody. People always got an excuse as to why they aren't showing up. It's like 30 days before the trip, you got 30 people coming. 10 days before the trip, 5 people showing up. 2 days before the trip is 2 people. The day of the trip is one person. But guess what? As soon as you about to, you know, come and pick them up, they ain't answering the phone. So you get back off vacation. Girl, what happened to you? What happened to you?
Yeah.
Oh man, you know, I was gonna pick up, right? My phone had died, right? You know, died. Then, you know, my dog like destroyed my phone for no reason. I guess he was mad at me. And then like all of a sudden, like
some
I walked
wild
outside,
stories.
And a squirrel like jumped on my head and flew out the tree and it tried to land on the ground, but landed on my head. So I fought the squirrel, but it bit me. So now I got rabies. So I'm talking to you from the hospital. I think I'm about to die, but if I make this, I got you next time, girl.
Yo, it be like that. It be some wild stories, yo. Like, yo, just fam just say you didn't have the money, man. Like, but it's all good. You know, I do those type of things. Actually, the next place I'm going to is upstate New York. That's where my little one lives. I have a daughter.
Well, happy Father's Day!
Thank you. Yeah,
I get 2 guesses to guess how many children you have. I get 2 guesses.
I guess.
My first guess is 2. My next is 3.
1.
Okay, well, adopt me so it can be 2.
Unless you consider my dog 1, but you know she's a
no. Adopt me. All right, I need a new home.
Hey, nah.
Do I have to pay bills?
Depends.
I'm not coming to stay with you, man. All right, I'm not coming to the doctor no more. What type of crap is that? They're talking about some depends.
I said,
you think this is a diaper? Come on now, some bull crap.
That's hilarious. But yeah, so I will be going out to see her soon. She's in upstate New York. She's about 7 hours away, about 6 to 7, depending on the traffic.
Do you fly or do you like drive? Typically?
I've always drove, but the last time I went, I flew, and I'll probably do that again because it only takes half the time. It still takes about 3 hours to do everything because she's not close to an airport. But it's still so worth it. Yeah, it's still...
That'd be the worst type. Like when you be going out of town and visit people and you realize they are like an hour away from the airport. You're like, good grief.
Yeah, they're at least a good hour. Like it's an hour and 20-minute flight. And then they're a good like hour and 20 away from the airport. So, I mean, it's like still a process, but I mean, it beats driving, you know? Because, I mean, what sucks is because like you go over there, right? And it's half the day. Half the day is travel, you know? Just to get over there, pretty much. So I always I try to do the flight. You know, I did that the last time. I'm probably definitely going to do it again, depending, you know, the price too. Because sometimes they're crazy. Because yo, if you're not going to a destination that's popular, they fucking rape you on the prices. You know, like if you go to Miami, they always do to Miami for like $80, you know, something cheap. But then when you go into fucking a random ass city in fucking America, they're like, nope, you gotta come here. The only reason you're looking at this flight is because you gotta come here. So we're gonna charge your ass. That's how.
That's actually very true. But you know what? I think on top of that, like, here's the thing: it doesn't cost that much to travel. I think that's the biggest misconception. Yeah. If you can spend money on a new iPhone, a Gucci bag that's probably not real, you know, some Jordans and everything else, why can't you use that same amount of money to go travel? And then on top of that, you got to realize, like, because I've been to 18 states, no countries yet. You know, I got a passport, but it has not been abused. So with that being said, like, you know, time is something that you can't get back. The money will come back to you, whether you got to dip into your savings or not, but the money will come back to you. But you got to see that experience. Like, you know, I'm the best tour guide around here. When I was out there traveling, I was in California. I was in Southern California where it doesn't rain. So I was in SoCal and I was like in the hoods and I was taking, you know, I went to certain grave sites of notable gang members and people like, Kyndra, what you over here? Raymond Washington, he found the Crips. He's like, well, or the co-founder. And they're like, Kyndra, what you over here at Raymond Washington's grave? I'm like, I wanted to pay my respects. He's like, what'd you say? I said, well, I hope you found peace before you got shot up. Anyway.
Stupid.
Hope you found peace with God before you got shot up. You know, so I paid my respects and I did a little history fact with Raymond Washington and I did some history facts. I went to some of the notable high schools. When I was in Arizona, I mean, I don't think there's a hood there, but I don't know where it was. It was just the fact that I was in the desert. I didn't even have, my mind could not go to a hood. It was overheated and cooked. I'm like, bro, like, it's 7 o'clock in the morning and it's already 85 degrees. It's bull crap.
Yeah, you're like, fuck that. That shit, it'd be
West Palm, when I was in West Palm Beach, I know there was a hood, but I was in a nice part of West Palm Beach where there were rabbits, you know, running amok. And I'm like, bro, I'm about to have rabbits too. You don't get your ass on somewhere, you know. So it was nice out there. I went to a real safari, right? But like this safari drive-through, like it was an hour long versus the one in Phoenix. I was by the Grand Canyon. So the one in Arizona, that was like 15 minutes. And I'm like, bro, this was a waste of money. I did see wolves though. And that wolf attacked that tree. And I was like, oh, I need to drive out of here.
Oh,
so,
damn.
you know, the safari, the drive-in safari in that is like right outside of West Palm Beach was an hour long. And I had to use the restroom. And I'm like, I can't get out to take a leak because one of these animals is gonna maul me. So yeah. Yeah, what I was trying to do, somebody said the best, if you want to get a giraffe to come to your window, you got to take your glasses off and like tap it on the window and it'll come. I kept doing that because I wanted to stick his head in so I can get a selfie. I'm kind of like that person. It just looked at me and it turned his face. I said, the hell is wrong with you? Don't you do that to me? Do you not know who I am? So that was pretty cool. But as far as with Illinois, when I went to Chicago, because I got family there, and when I went to Chicago, I think here's the thing. The hood is not, of course, you know, you still got to know your place in the hood, but it's entertaining. When you see, like, I saw a random, like somebody was shooting dice, like 5, 6 people. I almost wanted to jump in the game and take all their money. I didn't have no cash on me. I don't be carrying cash like.
Damn. Nah, yo, dice was it was kind of funny. We were joking the other day. I was actually joking with my friend. We were like, yeah, back in the day, the stuff we used to play. He was talking about playing like Pokemon cards and shit. And they were like, Joe, did you play too? I was like, nah, I was playing dice. I was playing dice. That was the shit back then.
What was the most amount of money you remember getting from shooting dice?
Not a lot, just a couple. Like we would play with dollars, like we like here and there. Like we didn't play with nothing crazy. We were little kids, you know. Like we were young.
Oh, I was thinking that you were playing with like $50, $60. Like, so did you end up taking their lunch money?
You know, it was little. Like it was like a couple dollars, like probably $20, $15. Like you know, like if that. You know, this was like I'm talking like you know middle school, high school stuff. You know, nothing.
Okay, so you never. Okay, I was thinking you like $300-$400 because I'm like, can't you make a lot of money shooting dice?
We would never play with that much. I mean, you probably could depending on what you're playing with.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Depending on what you're playing, but like we were kids.
You
know what I'm saying? But like, do you feel since you like to travel, and I agree with you too that you know a lot of times people even look at me because I mean I go around and I get myself around and people are like, oh, that must be nice, and it's like, well, I don't really do that. I'm not the weekend person to go out and do drinking and all that shit. So I spend my money on events. Like right now I got things coming up. I'm gonna start stacking my money towards those things. You know what I'm saying? Just Myrtle Beach and to go see Jaylene and go those different type of stuff. So I agree with you there. But do you feel like doing that type of stuff like helps you out with like your mental health? Like, do you feel you kind of need that to kind of like be free a little bit, or just to kind of get your thoughts together, or do you just simply maybe enjoy it?
Most definitely. I think it's very important for people. You have to, working all throughout the year. Like I'm fortunate to be off Monday through Thursday. Okay. So I can easily do, multiple things throughout my week. Like even when I was in school, I was still trying to make some type of, comedic video, watching something, because I'm a YouTube head. I love YouTube University. I learned how to, Tupac taught me how to roll a blunt on YouTube. That's a true story. You can go look it up.
Oh, shit.
So, but he rolled too fast. I'm like, going to somebody slower. But it really can help you. You shouldn't be working all the time. I think working 5 days a week and only getting 2 days off is a scam anyway, but that's a story for another day.
Yeah.
But with that being said, it's good to get out there and see God's glory and see like the scenery, like with everything. California is my favorite state, and I love in Southern California, the graffiti. The graffiti is amazing. Whether they making gang signs or not, like just seeing so many beautiful things. The mountains in Arizona are beautiful. I love it. Now, of course, West Palm Beach, you got the beach, you got the palm trees. That's nice. The nice weather and everything else. Chicago, I'm in love with the buildings. So when you travel, it's just like you feel at peace. And then on top of that, like 3 out of these 4 states, it's legalized weed. So being able to walk down the street and you can have 10 joints in your mouth and nobody can say nothing to you. If that ain't freedom, I don't know what is. Because wait, you're in New York, right?
Jersey, pretty much. We're very close to New York.
You guys are now. New York's not legal yet, I don't believe, but I know Jersey is.
Yeah, it's legal.
So you can do that, but here in Georgia, and here's the thing about it: walking, it still felt like so. It didn't feel real because I kept having to look behind my back. I would see an officer. I'm like, oh, let me put it out real quick. But it's like they haven't programmed and controlled, down here where they'll throw you, in jail for a little stem of weed and stuff like that. And to me, it's just dumb. But, to answer your question, going back to answer your question, it can help with your mental health. Being one with nature is great.
Yeah. And like you said, just being able to explore and kind of, enjoy the things that you love. Like, and sometimes you'll never be able to find a place that you love until you do explore. Like, because I'm kind of the same with you. Like, I love Cali. I actually hate our winters. I love the fall, the spring, the summer. But our winters here are like getting very depressing just because it's like, I'm not a outdoorsy person, so I don't want to come off as that guy. But I just like being able to go outside right now and walk with my dog and just enjoy the weather and shit, right? The simple things. And the winters over here get so brutal that I'm really thinking about moving to Cali for the winters, So Cali is where I want to go. Because on the West Coast, that heat is different from the East Coast. The East Coast, that fucking humidity is fucking crazy.
But you know what? I'm going to tell you this. Let me put you up on game about this. I used to think the same thing, but your skin is going to be extremely dry.
Oh, there, right?
My scalp, the middle of my scalp. Now, I brought my oil, brought everything. The middle of my scalp was itching ferociously. You don't know how many days a week, like every day, I was oiling it to the point where I'm like, Kyndra, you're oversaturating it. You need to not do that, right? So you're dealing with the dryness. I'll take the humidity because I don't mind that moisture in the air. I don't mind that. But I mean, like I said, and then on top of that, it was cold. It was 65 degrees when I went out there, and it's freaking May. It's the 3rd week of May. I like it when it's 85. When I feel sweat trickling down my back, we in the right. That's why I'm gonna leave Georgia and I'm going to go to the great state of Florida and see some gators. I'm gonna be in Miami, living out there. But I need some money. Anybody out there who wants to be a Splenda dad, not a sugar dad, because I'm not giving you no sugar. Okay. The most I'll do is let you lick fat mom, but that's it. I ain't throwing you. Sorry, you're the one who wants me. I want you.
No, that's fucked up. I be seeing those memes. I'm like, yo, how you expect to have a sugar daddy, but give no sugar?
Okay, listen. All right.
No. I'm serious. Like, how dare y'all? How dare y'all?
Well, I'll explain for the ones who might think like me, which I don't think there are because I'm an enigma. This is how I look at it, okay? There are men out there who will literally pay you to spend time with them and not do nothing with them because they're just lonely and they want you to spend time with them. There are men like that, okay? And I've not came across none of those yet. But I feel like one of them is listening to this podcast. But with that being said, it's like you have, I was talking, I've heard women say, I've had a man say, I'll pay you if you fart on command. You know, and I mean, I don't know how to do that either. Men just to sit there, watch television with you, just to have a conversation. Like there are people, I actually had one dude tell me, oh, well, how much will it cost if you touch my dick and I give you head? I'm like, give me about $300. You know, and then people are like, well, Kyndra, ain't that prostitution? I've been getting this cat licked for free. Okay, I need to get paid for it.
Get your money, girl.
Let's keep it all the way real. Everyone has either tricked off or did some type of tricking at some point. All the men out there, you ain't spend $300 on no dinner just so you can go home and you did it for a reason.
Yeah, talking shit.
For a reason.
I've been saying that. You know why I've been saying that? Is because when we had a conversation one time about escorts. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yo, I don't see anything wrong with it. Because if you're just looking just to fuck, right? Most men, like you said, will just do the whole date thing and dinner or, you know, take them into the club or whatever just because all they want to do is fuck. And then it's like, it's only a 50-50 shot. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, if you really just want sex that bad, you should just call up a fucking escort. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the same shit. If that's all you want, if that's the goal, you know what I'm saying? Like, you should just cut that shit like right to the fucking odds and just pay for one. So,
but you know what? Let me say this. Let me say this, Joe. Like, you got to realize if a person can get it for free, they're not gonna want to try. Because you know, there are women out there, and I want to speak on the men, women right now. There are women out there whose self-esteem is so low that they set the bar for women. They set the bar low for women like myself who have high standards. Where I'm like, okay, if we ain't talking about money, what you in my DM for? What are we going out for if we ain't talking about money type thing, right? Because I've had men, and these are older men, like old men, AARP age, you know, senior citizen, probably done got a cane somewhere in the back, whatever type of men. They will slide in my DM saying, hey, you know, I want to have, you know, relations with you, whatever else it may be. And I'm like, okay, well, pay one of my bills. Well, why I gotta pay your bill? I got the cash up. I got the cash in my hand. Come see me. No, we don't do that. We do Cash App. I take Cash App, PayPal, Zelle, Venmo, whatever. Oh, well, I mean, I'm old enough to know that you don't have to pay nobody up front. You can pay them like at the end or pay them once they see you. No, see, and I think what they look at is, okay, because I look young, I might be dumb and stuff like that. And I'm like, no, like, you know, I have an old soul, okay? Like, I've been hanging around the old heads since I was in middle school, so I'm already equipped on the game. Now, I'm not going to sit here and make it seem like I have my life together because I still did what I wanted to do, and I learned from experience, also from within myself. But I look at it like this. This is just me being, this is just my, how I look at it. If you're sliding into a woman's DM saying, oh, I want feet pictures, I want to see your titties, I want to suck on them, I want some type of sexual favor for my own gratification, why are you, you know, not prepared to pay for that? Like, what? Yeah. That's what I'm looking at.
Let me just clarify. Are you saying like just coming off rip like that?
Coming off rip like that. If you come at me on a sexual tip, okay, where's the money at? Where's the money at? Now, and let me clarify this as well, because people will take what I'm saying and they'll be like, "This girl, you got some type of bra. You got this girl with the bra to wear." No, guys, let me clarify. Okay, if I do anything with anyone, I get to know them extensively. I need to make sure you ain't married, because there's a lot of undercover married people out there, okay? Yeah. I don't know what you think this is, but honey, I understand it's cheaper to keep her, but you knew this before you got married. Somebody told you somebody told you, hey man, I'm telling you, when you after you say I do, that's when the real work happens. It's not 2 or 3 months in, it could be a couple of years in. So there's gonna be times she might not want to have sex with you for a very long time. Are you prepared for that? These people tell you about how marriage is. Now, I want to get married one day. I'm gonna do the best to, go by my wifely duties. But and I'm pretty sure there are gonna be times where I might not want to deal with him. It might be times where I might go a couple days without speaking to him. But I know this is what I signed up for. So I get to know people extensively. what's your marital status like? What's your relationship status like? When's the last time you had sex? When's the last time you did something with somebody sexual? Do you got a real job, or is this what you just tell people to make yourself seem better than what you are? Do you have a car? I ask these things and I get to know them and I hang out with them and I catch the vibes with the people. And plus I'm a people person. So, I can spot out who's on some foo-foo and who's not. So no, and I had one dude who we used to work together. He gave me like $25 for a hand job many years back, and it felt so awkward. I'm like, yeah, I need to hurry up and get rid of this money. But hey, at least he paid me.
Fuck it, right? I'm in support of it. But
it's like, why can't more people think like that? Why can't we have more people to say, you know what Kyndra's saying is actually the truth? Like, I've had women tell me, Kyndra, as a man, like as a woman, like, that's not prostitution if you having sex with your boyfriend to get your bills paid. Skirt, that sis, like they're supposed to do that. They're not supposed to do that. A man is not obligated to pay your bills just because you have sex with him or whatever. Yeah, you're doing that because you want your bills paid. You want your hair done. You want all that type of stuff. So what are you talking about? That's why you're doing it. Come on now.
Facts.
Let's keep it real.
Course. What sign are you?
So I'm not like into the astrology thing, but my birthday is May 17th. So people have said I'm a Taurus, Gemini, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay.
So I'm a child of God who just be out here whooping people's ass. That's what sign I am.
Just be whooping ass. I like it.
That's what I do.
I know. I'm just curious. I do like to ask, but yeah, no, I'm all support of that, yo. People get your money, however you gotta get it, yo. If there's someone that's willing to pay for it.
It took me a while to realize this, and I had other women tell me this as well. They were like, Kyndra, because I thought that was using the guy. They're like, Kyndra, men are using you and wasting your time because they want something. They want your time. They want something. You need to get paid for it some way, somehow. Either some type of dinner, some way, somehow. Like, they want to rub your feet. They want to rub your feet, put your foot in their mouth, and they ain't even pay to get your feet done. Like, come on now, don't you do that? Stop letting men do that to you. And I'm like, okay.
There's always a transaction somewhere. But always, but there's a lot of men that have a very strong ego, so they're not going to want to say that because it's like I could see a dude and I could see him taking a girl out or whatever, and I know he doesn't want her as his girlfriend. He just wants some ass, and it's just like, bro, like, why don't you just, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, get the escort or whatever. Like, why are you wasting time and you putting those emotions and everything into that? Like, what the fuck is the point? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you just
why do you think guys will do that? Why do you think that they don't want to go get an escort, but they'll pretend to be fake happy with this woman?
Ego. It's like an egotistical thing because you're quote unquote paying for sex. Versus which I think is so much smarter to do and such less hassle free. Like I said, if you just want to get your nut off real quick, you know what I'm saying? Like, go somewhere that's that. I mean, don't waste nobody's time because I'm big on like not wasting people's time, like emotionally. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, that pisses me off. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hate, I've gotten into circumstances where like I'm talking to a female or whatever, and I'm thinking it's going somewhere, and then it's just not going anywhere. And it's like, yo, fam, you're just wasting my time for what? So I'm big on that. Like you said before, our time is super, super, super fucking valuable. And it goes for the opposite sex as well too. Like, yo, if there's dudes out here that are just a wasting a female's time just because he wants to hit, like, yo, fam, if you really want sex, like, yo, there's some badass escorts out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're like.
But what about a blow up doll? Is a blow up doll not? Does that not cross a guy's mind?
Nah,
that's cheaper.
That's wild. But that's.
You don't have to worry about getting an STD. I got a fun fact. It's about to sound like a lie, but it's actually very true. Okay.
Right, what's up?
So my throat is not a virgin, but my vagina is. And people were like, well, Kyndra, how are you still a virgin? And I'm like, because after a certain age, guys don't want to take a woman's virginity, especially that's just their main purpose. Yeah. Now, I've had guys think, oh, if I give her head good enough, she's going to want to fuck. Ha, I made you lick. That's how it is.
I made you lick.
So
that's got to be the title of this podcast.
with that being said, for me personally, like the first time, and also first time I want to have like sex, I want to do it without protection. Like, ain't no, I want you to come inside me too. Okay, I'm not catching no nut. No, come inside me. All right, stay in there. Oh wait, I think I'm pregnant now. Okay, great. What we naming our unborn kid?
Right to it.
That's what I want. And I know, if you had a woman that came up to you, and you you kind of was feeling her after a few days, and you guys about to go have sex, and you pull out a condom like, no, I want you to come inside me. You can be like, Scar, bitch, please. I'm out. I mean, unless you into that type of stuff, and you now probably got 20 kids running around that you don't know about. But I did know for a fact you're a responsible man because you just said you have one child. Now let me ask you this as well. Joe. Did you plan that child, or like were you actually wearing protection and it just happened, or did she say I'm on the pill?
I actually have a little fork to throw in the wrench. Actually, she's my stepdaughter, but I've raised her since she was 3.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah, so I've raised her so long that like to me there's not like I don't like to say the whole stepdaughter thing because to me she's not that she's not just not that to me, you know what I'm saying? Like to me she's my daughter. I don't see there's really a difference in that. So that's why I do, I say it like that. But so me, obviously no blood kids, but I've had they be like, oh no, condom, it's all right. Like what? Fuck that.
No, but you know what my question is, and I look at, I overanalyze a lot of stuff. I'm continuing, I'm further my education so I can get my PhD, so I can be, you call me Dr. Crump, so I can be like a therapist, psychologist, and stuff like that. And I think about stuff like, okay, if the first time, remember the very first woman that you actually had raw sex with.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people, whoever and anybody out there listening, the very first person that you had raw sex with, if you think about it, unless you guys are married, which in this day and age, people aren't waiting until marriage, anymore. So let's talk about, let's say if you're in high school, middle school, high school, or early on college, when you actually have raw sex, a lot of people don't talk to those people no more. They don't know where they at. They just social media friends. And to me, it's like, if they had that intimate moment with you, why not keep them around? Like, you trusted them enough to open yourself and unveil yourself into that way to them. But what
a lot of times it wasn't trust though. See, a lot of times it's just in the moment. Cause that when you're in the moment, things could be happening. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, but when you in the moment, does nothing cross your mind? Like, okay, like, all right,
yeah, fuck it. That's what crosses your mind. And you'd be like, my shooting percentage is all right. Like, I'm just saying, that's what happens. That's usually what happens. It's a percentage game, and you just say, fuck it.
I got you. Okay. I just kind of wonder, or if you spend so much money on your significant other, I wonder what happens where you guys go y'all separate ways. Like $10,000 you done spent the duration of this 5-year relationship, or 20 or 30,000 that, includes trips included, like, and you guys just go away. Like, well, I don't understand that. Like,
sometimes money just doesn't solve it.
Gotcha.
Like I was in a, long-term relationship, and there was a lot of money invested, and it wasn't worth it. It was toxic. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't worth it mentally. You know what I'm saying? And when I say toxic, I don't even mean to be like disrespectful to them. It's just, I felt like that. I couldn't live like that. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't live in a home like that, with the energy and certain things, you know what I'm saying? So like, no matter how much I invested and also too, cause you say financially, but also, mentally as well too, like pouring yourself into somebody and giving yourself somebody, that much, and also time, like we were talking about before, time invested. A lot of times people will fall for those things and then stay in unhealthy relationships. But it's like, I'm not beat for that. I'm not beat to live my life like that, Like, I'm not beat to live my life comfortable, Like, yeah, it was cool. I could have definitely stayed for the rest of my life. But would I be genuinely happy? No.
Of course. Do you feel like when you were given those gifts and you spent all that money, do you feel like that was going to try to make the relationship better? Or did you feel like this was something I was going to do because this is what you're supposed to do in quotation marks?
Yeah. Well, when I initially said that, I don't mean necessarily quote unquote gifts. I mean like, towards just things in life, you know what I'm saying? Like the relationship and the bills and, when you're living together, you're contributing with each other and, like things like that, like just everything, you know what I'm saying, that you financially invest in. I am a gift giver, right? That is one thing, right? But I always just do it off of just me. I just like to, if I
that's your love language, gift giving.
Yeah, well, I know I looked into the love languages before, and I will do that in quality time. So that in quality time, I do like to gift give, but it's never because I think it's gonna get me somewhere or I think the person's gonna feel different. Sometimes I just like to do that. Like I said, it probably is just like a love language, or sometimes it's like, damn, like I feel almost like if you don't have this thing, and I could help you with it, it's more of like it's like a help. You know what I'm saying? But I just like to gift give. I like to spoil. I do that shit now with Jaylene. Like I spoil her and shit. You know what I mean? But when I never regret any of that because I'm not. I call it. They quote the phrase as like Indian giving or something like that. I don't know exactly what the real phrase.
I know what you're talking about.
It's real. What the proper term should be. But I'm not one like that. So I'll never say like, damn, I regret the financial aspect to it. Because I'm not even saying I'm not. It's gonna splurge with fucking gifts. You know what I'm saying? Like at the same time, like I'm not over here fucking balling like that. You know what I'm saying? Where I could just gift you a fucking Mercedes, But if I do something, it's out of my heart. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not that one to regret it because I did it because I was feeling that way and it was out of my heart at the time. I'm not gonna regret that. If I hear sometimes people get it twisted and they get mad because they were doing it with the wrong intentions. And then something doesn't happen and then they're pissed. But it's like when you do it with just good intentions, like it was with good intentions. Like I definitely have, females and stuff like that I've gotten little gifts for and different things and we didn't even end up kissing. You know what I'm saying? And it's like at the end of the day, I don't regret it because I did it with my heart, and I fuck with them as a human being beyond if we're together or not,
That's nice. More men need to be like that.
Thank you. I mean, it just really depends. But I will say, back to your point before, we're getting to that age now. Like, I'm 31.
Dirty 30. Does it hurt to turn 30? Because I'm like halfway there.
Nah. It's beautiful. I love age. Kind of like what you said. Like, you used to hang out with the older heads and shit like that. So I feel like I've always been older. Like, I feel like I'm like 50 in my head. Right?
Do you go outside and sip some wine on the front porch?
I love the front porch. I love the front porch, yo.
Sitting in your rocking chair, just waving at everybody.
That is me, y'all. I was doing that shit as a kid. Yeah, I used to live in like these little apartment complex we used to have over here. I used to sit in the front porch, just chill, and even like when I can, that's my vibe. I just chill out. But at that age now, you got to be really, really careful sexually with women. Because especially if they don't have kids, they want kids at this age. And they will try to make you go raw. And especially...
What's the craziest thing that you remember a woman ever saying to you to make you go raw? And at first you're going to do it, then you feel like, bitch, please. In your mind, you're like, no, let me pull the craziest thing you remember a woman saying to you. And I'll tell you the craziest thing a man ever said to me.
Not really just saying, just like doing, just getting on top and just riding. Like, not really saying. I'm just like, yo, fam, like, all right, hold up. Like, let me move you.
So she just like, she took control. She threw you on the bed.
No, I was already there. I was already laying down.
Oh, okay.
And it was just like, all right, wait, let's slow down a little bit here. Too, because also we're getting to that age, number one, right, where if a female doesn't have kids, she's looking for kids. You know what I'm saying? And that's a big thing. And I tell a lot of dudes this too, and I have a lot of conversations with a lot of my guy friends. Like, I am very picky on who I will even deal with sexually at this point too. You know what I'm saying?
As you should be.
Because of those reasons, because yo, like, you don't want just a kid with anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the type, I want to be able to, have that family. And those are my goals and my vibes. Like, I hate the fact that my little one is 7 hours away. I hate it. But, like, that's the number one thing I hate right now in my life is the distance. Because I hate not being able to see her every day. Like, I see her FaceTime every day, but it's never the same.
It's not, of course, it's not
never the same. So that's for me. And it's like, yo, people now, when they get to that age and that clock starts ticking, they're looking around like, yo, you know what I'm saying? So you got to be really careful out here too. And that's even to a lot of guys. Like, guys got to be careful because, and I'm not even saying it real, like, to be so negative too on a woman saying that they're going to trap the dude. It's just, sometimes it's just a natural thing, or you're not even really thinking about it. You kind of just want it in that moment, Like,
of course.
You're not thinking that you're trying to trap this dude, because I think also sometimes that narrative gets pushed a little bit, that it's like, oh, well, she was trying to trap you. Nah, maybe just in the moment, the sex sounded really fucking good. And she, in her head, was like, well, if we have a baby, that'd be dope. It wasn't too much thought into it. Because when there's a lot of passionate and feelings and you feeling good, yo, that shit, real quick, things could happen.
No, and I think that's actually very true. I remember, I'm going to tell you what happened with me. This was actually, I remember the date perfectly. February 13, 2020 at like 9 o'clock. It was like the 9 o'clock hour, right? And it was so many like eyebrow raisers, red flags, but I didn't pay attention to that until afterwards. So, this guy, we went to junior high with each other, thought he was cool, somehow he found me on Facebook. I'm like, bro, how did you find me? Like, just how do you remember me? It's so crazy how a lot of these guys will remember how a woman's shape is, but they don't remember their ABCs. I'm like, you worried about the wrong thing, brother. But he had gave me head so good that in my mind, I'm like, I was naming our unborn children. And like, I literally was naming our unborn children, right? And so after it was over, I was laying on my side and he had said, can I put the tip in? Sir, what the heck
what's going on here
with you? Okay. And then he had said, I want you to have my baby.
Hey.
He said that can I put the tip in? And I'm like, I think I need to go. Cause I'm like, bro, like 24 years old and you're cause we the same age, like 24 years old and you out here saying that, like, to me, and I questioned him on that, and he gave me, I don't even remember what the excuse or lie that he had tried to muster up and say, but, and this is I'm gonna tell you the really crazy part. I'm gonna tell you the craziest part of it all. He calls me 3 days later and says, are you sure you're clean and you ain't been messing with nobody? And I was like, what the heck is going on, right? And after that, I was out of La La Land. I'm like, yep, La La Land ended 3 days ago, just today type of thing. But I just think that's crazy how for him to have said that, and somebody said to me, they said, Kyndra, men will say whatever they can to try to get that woman and don't believe any of it. Like, oh, I want you. I'm like, oh, you really want me? My cell phone bill is $55. Can you pay that?
Yeah.
Oh, well, no, I ain't got the money, but yeah, I still want you though. God sent me to your life. Now you're lying on God. I'm down now. What else have I heard? I've heard so many different things that guys have tried saying to me, and I'm like, do y'all just go to the same university of loser university?
I do though I think though females are worse when it comes to wanting to go raw and shit. I think they're worse. I think the females usually want it more than the guys.
I wonder why though. Is it because they feel like their biological clock is ticking?
No, I usually think it's more about the feeling. I think it's just that simple. I think it's about the feeling.
Maybe,
it just doesn't feel the same.
There was this girl I actually used to work with, and she told me that she would always go raw, and she's been doing that since high school. And I asked her why. She's like, after that first time I went raw, Kyndra, I ain't been back since. And I thought that
once you go raw, you can't go back.
I said, that's kind of scary in a sense. I had one dude tell me, he was from Brooklyn, bad side in the house. He was from Brooklyn. He said to me, I like going raw. Because like I can stay hard if I feel like the actual woman. I'm like, why don't you try lambskin condoms or very thin? No, it ain't the same. Like that's the best way. Like he didn't even say I'm allergic to condoms. He was just saying like I can easily, if I go raw with the woman, like I stay hard. But if I go, if I have a condom on, I'm gonna stay soft. I'm like,
he need to go buy some Viagra. There's nothing wrong with that.
And I was like, he really just said this to me. He really, that was his way of trying to get me to have sex and go raw with him. But like I said, I don't know. I think, and that's the thing about it. People, like how you said, when you get to a certain age, I think when your frontal lobe develops, you should not be trying to just have sex with any and everybody. Like I posted this yesterday saying your private parts don't need to meet everyone that you talk to. And I'm just keeping it real. Like people are so quick to like get to know people, see what they're about, see if they know the difference between T-O, T-W-O, and T-O-O. That they're not putting 300 and the money sign behind the 0. People will do that. They don't say sorry for your lost. But I don't know, like these are things that a lot, but again, when you aren't thinking, if you're thinking like, with your smaller head instead of your larger head, or with women, if you're just thinking like allowing somebody to, basically come tender to your loins and stuff like that, you're not going to think like this.
Well, that's, I mean, honestly though, the percentage is so crazy because I'm even sitting here thinking about it now and like, even me, anyone that I've ever been with, I could tell you the percentage that's actually of females that actually was in support of me using the condom, or even like being like, all right, where is it and shit.
And what's the percentage?
Very low, probably 10% or 5%.
Did nobody pay attention in health class?
They just don't, and it's crazy. Like I always got to be the one to be like, oh, nah, hold up real quick. You know what I'm saying? Like chill.
Does that make you say, okay, I'm not going to mess with them again because they're irresponsible? Does that make you think that?
No.
After it's over?
No.
Okay, thank you for your honesty. You know what? I have an issue.
I'm just being honest, yeah.
I have an issue. I have not come across no man yet who doesn't mind me giving them head with a condom. I have not come across no man yet. And I think that to me is very deplorable because you can still get an STD in your mouth, on your penis. And I might be, hey, we family. I can be open and vulnerable with you.
Yeah, let's do it.
Because I wanted, all right, I'm addicted to head, right? So because I wanted head back, I would just give them head and, get the return. And I just hope that nothing would come. And I've been good, let me knock on wood, no STDs. I'm very proud. I think I'm one of God's favorites. Shout out to all the couples out there sharing the same STD medication. Anyway, get your own, man. All right, go to your own doctor and get your own. But it's like, for me, I was really, it was a low self-esteem thing. I was like, oh, well, I really, want this person to like me. I don't want them to think I'm not cool and everything else. So let me go ahead and win in Rome. But as I think about it, all of these people, and then here's the thing. There was one guy, I messed around with him when I was like fresh out of high school. And he didn't, want to use a condom, at that time. And then like, he's the same age as you. And so I messed around with him like last year in the summertime. And I had mentioned like, can we do that? He's like, yeah, that's fine. I never did go to the store to get no condoms. So I like literally like was so but it was a relief that he was wanting to do that. I said, let me just do it the first time. Okay. I'll do it for like 5 minutes and then I'll take it off.
Yo, I think I gotta make a phone call because now we have to ask people what their percentages of people that was in support of it. Of course. Oh yeah, we have to make a phone call. Let's see who answers. We're gonna call people in. Let's see if I'm gonna call Mr. Matt first because you know Matt. He's probably not gonna answer. He's probably working, shaking my damn head. But yeah, guys are all in support of that shit. Like, I'm in support of that shit. Like, yo, yeah, girl, use the condom, whatever you feel more. And for me too. Like, I don't know where your mouth has been.
But and also the best thing to do, people, you need to check the insides of their mouth as well to make sure there are no open cuts, because that's how you can easily get something as well.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I worked at a doctor's office, so I would.
Hold on. Hello. Oh no! Damn, this person just called me too. Damn, shaking my damn head. Yeah. Okay. You said you worked in the doctor's office, and
I worked. So technically, I was a doctor. Okay. So I worked in a doctor's office, and I would,
Oh, hello.
Yep.
Hey, Crispy, you got a second?
Yeah.
You're live on the podcast right now.
There he is.
All right, so me and Kyndra have a question for you.
What's up?
Out of your percentage of sexual history, what percentage of females was in support of the condom?
What percentage was in support of the condom? I would say 25%.
25%? So you're saying 75 didn't want it?
75 didn't.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Easily 75, right?
Yeah.
All right. Just getting percentages. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Once you go raw, you can't go back?
Yeah, once you go in, you can't go back. It's too deep in.
Too deep? All right. Thank you.
All right.
Bye. See, that's interesting too. That's pretty low, right?
That's not good. And it makes you want, and again, it makes me wonder, like, are there any people, I think, and I remember my doctor, he told me, he says he would drill it in my head. The doctor office I was working at, he says, you only go without a condom when you know for a fact you can really trust this person. Like, it is a trust. And then on top of that, people fail to realize, even if you married, like, you can't always trust the person you married to, because that's how affairs, side children, all that type of stuff, they bring you home. There's some people who don't care. Like, it's the more you know, the scarier the world is.
Exactly. And people, I guess they don't care about that shit on the low. And I think a lot of it's on the low. Like, people will talk like they want, that they're for it. But then it's like, yo, you see the percentages just don't add up. You know what I'm saying?
That's actually, have you actually known anybody that has contacted STDs other than like chlamydia and gonorrhea, the most common one?
No, I don't know anybody.
I've met people, like, I've had people tell me that they've
not at least the people that told me.
I've had people tell me I've contacted trichomonas, herpes. I've had one person tell me they have HIV, but that was because they were playing with needles as a child. I've had people tell me gonorrhea, but I've never came across somebody with syphilis. I came across people who told me that they had crabs. And here's the worst part. And I asked them, I said, after you had chlamydia a couple of times, like, what'd you do? Well, Kyndra, I'm gonna be honest with you, like, cause it felt so good, going raw. And this was a woman telling me, this woman has like 7 kids by the same person, but she's like divorcing this man and stuff like that. But she says, Kyndra, and she's like 60, and she says, I'm gonna be honest with you, I just had sex like last month, and I had it without a condom with this guy, and I had blocked him afterwards because I'm like, I couldn't believe that. I was like, that's how you confuse. I said, that's how you confuse thy enemy.
Damn, see,
but I mean, it wasn't really afterwards. Afterwards, she had a conversation with him, and then when she realized he was just full of shit, she's like, goodbye, you're out of my life, type of thing. And we spoke like a week ago. We were talking, and she was telling me this, and she says, the sad thing is, even though I had caught chlamydia a few times, I still went raw. And it was like, I guess, with other people, and that to me is just kind of like, wow, it's kind of scary. I actually want to try like have somebody use a dental dam. I know you're gonna be looking like a Great Dane, but I want somebody to try and use a dental dam on me. Just because that first time, let that first couple times, let us use the dental dam and I'll, and the condom, and then after that, like we'll just call it off.
Just got a couple times, right?
That's it. That's all I want. Just that first 2 times, so I can say, hey, I finally met someone who wants to have protected sex with me.
All right.
That's it. I mean, so I was gonna say anybody out there, yeah, I'll do it, and then they'll have a fake condom. Come on now. Then they'll take it off. You know what they'll do? Like, you know how like when you give it head from behind, you'll just take it off, and you'll try to tie the girl up. You just take it off, and stuff like that. And then you try to stick it in. It's like, babe, I don't. Babe, it's a thin. It's the ultra thin. Oh, okay, all right, babe.
Word. Yeah. Or that shit come off, you don't even realize it, or she sucked that shit up.
Didn't realize it.
Sometimes
didn't care.
Sometimes that happens too. Sometimes she takes that shit.
That's true.
Some girls are so good they could take that shit off with their fucking pussy. They take that shit off.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a skill. Any girls out there who have done that, hit my DM. Tell me how you do that so I can prepare. Yeah,
that shit is crazy. But yeah, don't go raw, people. All right, we had this conversation on another podcast a little bit about don't go raw, but don't go raw in here. So
knowing what you know now, would you have waited till you were older or married to have lost your virginity, or you were okay with the age that you were?
I would have waited.
The girl who you lost your virginity to, was she a thought, your stepmom, the babysitter, the principal?
So she was my neighbor.
Okay.
She was my neighbor. And actually, you know what? Fuck it. I'll tell the story here in a podcast. Right? We're vulnerable here. So yeah, it was my neighbor. And she was like a year older than me.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I lost my shit young. I lost my shit real young. Like,
were you 7?
I was young. Yeah, I was around that age.
So around the same time you started shooting dice.
Yo, yeah, before the dice came.
So wait, okay, so all right, she was a year older.
Yeah.
Wait, question. Was she, and the reason I asked this is because sometimes it happens when you want to have sex early. Yeah. Was she molested?
Not that I know of.
Okay, I didn't know if y'all ever talked about it, many years later. No. So 7 years old.
I don't even think, I never even thought about that until now you just said it. I wouldn't even think so. You know why? Because we both didn't know really what the fuck we were doing.
Okay, so you decide to, I'm pretty sure y'all's parents were cool with each other.
Yep.
You just happened to, because, as a parent, you don't think, oh, well, I mean, they're like boy and girl. They're like 6, 7, ain't nothing going to happen.
And
so you go.
Yeah.
You go to her house. She's like, "Hey, come over." Does she write you a note?
Well, she would always be by me, and now it was always because she was almost kind of like a tomboy a little bit. So we would just hang out. It wasn't like, oh, this girl liked me. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't even nothing like that. Because we were young, yo. We were kids, and we were fucking before any of us were able to do anything. Before I was even able to come. That's how crazy. That's why I know how young. I'm like, yo, it was wild.
So how did you know where to put your penis in? That's what I'm a little lost.
She knew that. She knew that. But you know how it started? Shit started with the jerking off and all that type of shit.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But yo, we were young as fuck. So that experience was kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? That it was so young. So, I mean, I guess that's why maybe I would have waited, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Why don't you call her up for old time's sake? Hey, let's do it. This is the anniversary. It's only 30 years later.
Nah, I could tell she's ashamed that she did it that young. I could tell. I saw her years later because it went on for a couple of years. It went on definitely for at least let's say 9 years old, 8 years old to fucking 11. You know. It went on for a little bit.
What made you guys stop?
I don't even remember that, honestly.
I
don't even remember. It was just I guess we got older.
Or you could be, you know, did you ever ask her to say, hey, you want to be my girlfriend?
Nah.
Okay.
And that's it's the weirdest thing too, because there was no, because I had like crushes as a kid, but I didn't even have a crush on her.
And that's why I was like lost. I said, okay, so how did you get to the point where you said like you all are like naked in front of each other? Like that's where I was like a little lost. I said, okay, did you guys like mutually like each other, or just one day it's like, hey, let's play house?
Pretty much, it was pretty much just playing around. It was just crazy. You know what I'm saying? I think she seemed like, looking back at it now, because I've thought about it before. Looking back at it now, she probably saw porn.
I was just about to say that more than likely that's what porn. Since you said that she knew where to stick it in and stuff like that.
Like she
more
knew,
than likely.
I didn't know.
And did you know that at that time that you were having sex, or you just like, okay, you were just having?
I mean, a little. The only reason I knew a little bit we were doing something because I remember there was a movie. You remember the movie Dirty Dancing?
I do, but I watched the television version.
Yeah, so well, it was like the non-version or whatever. So then when I would see that movie, oh, hold on, we got Matt calling. Yo. Oh, wait, no, he hung up. Shake him up. Maybe he called me by accident. Let me try one more time. With Matt. Yo. No, fuck. All right, who knows what's going on with Matt? He called and he hung up, and his phone went to voicemail. But
of course, he needs to charge his phone.
Yeah, no, but movies really kind of helped understand what everything was. You know what I'm saying? Like at that point. But I definitely think, looking back at it, I could definitely think that she probably just saw porn. Because she was a little older than me. She had at least a year on me. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't.
And that's a pretty prevalent age, you know.
Yeah.
Around, because that's when I started watching porn, but I didn't know it was porn until years later.
Oh, really?
Like years later, I didn't know. Like I just got this. It was an addiction. It started with a pop up because my parents were like, Weekend Dad, like the Weekend Dad. So it was a pop up on his computer. I just clicked on it. I was like, are those boobs?
Yeah.
Okay. Are those pierced nipples? That's what it was. And then like it
was a pop up on a computer, right?
A pop up on a computer, and I just clicked on it.
That started happening quick once the internet got popular and shit. Like mine wasn't, because actually it was after that. It was after even doing things with her. I found a VHS one time because we had a box. You know how VHSs were. You know, back then it was popular. So like we had a box. I think that we bought it like a garage sale, just full of VHSs, random VHSs. And I just threw one in one day, just thinking it was something else, or just seeing what it was. Because I used to do a lot. I film now, and as a kid, I used to do a lot with the movies and the VHSs and shit. So I'd pop it in, see what it was, and then I saw there was porn. That was the first time I ever seen it. But it was after we were already doing shit.
So it must have been your parents' secret stash.
No, it was some shit we bought. It was like, I remember it was like some random shit. Yeah.
Wait, so it didn't have like what was on the case cover? The case didn't show like this is.
It was like I said, it was somebody else's that we got from like a garage sale, and it had written.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was written some bullshit. It wasn't from our set of VHSs.
Oh, no. I was thinking that I was thinking that you like went to, I don't know, like I'm about to age you. What was that thing? It's blue. You can return.
Blockbuster?
You had to. Huh? Blockbuster, yes.
Damn, yo, you ain't even know the name of Blockbuster off rip. That's when you know we getting old.
I thought you possibly like went into one of those stores, I was like, did they not like what was on the cover?
It was a box of VHSs that we got from like a garage sale or something. It was just a box full of them, and I knew because I grabbed it out of the box just to see, and it said some name on it. It wasn't what it was. It said some other shit. And you know how like back in the day too, we used to be able to make our own VHSs. You know,
that's a little before my time. I don't. You gotta realize I'm a sheltered child, so I don't. There's a lot. I still ain't listened to none of Jay-Z's albums, so I'm a sheltered child. Okay.
Well, do you know about how we used to be able to burn CDs?
LimeWire.
Yeah. We used to make our own,
and it would give your computer a bunch of viruses and stuff.
Well, right before LimeWire, it was big to put the songs on CDs. So you would download the songs and then put them onto CDs. So before that was VHS. So we used to record our own things from the TV. So if you wanted to record the TV show, you could record it on a VCR tape and all that shit. It was yo, I'm making myself feel really old right now. But anyway, it was a fucking VHS tape. And yeah, like I said, if I can go back, probably would have just did it earlier. But I mean, it was cool though, because then I had experience young, you know? It is what it is.
That actually, dang, this was in the 90s.
Oh yeah, this was like 99. This was like 99, 2000.
This is when Cash Money was taking over for the 2000. This is freaking hilarious. I'm just now looking. I'm like, bro, this is like in the freaking 90s and early 2000s.
Yeah.
When it was like, and that was what a time to have been alive. I'm gonna be honest with you. I wish I was born between like the late 60s to early 80s, because like life was just so much better in a way. You know, they didn't have social media. You actually got a chance to meet people, see what they're about and everything else. Like, you know, they had Freaknik. I would have loved to have, known what Freaknik was about and actually going to see Freaknik during the golden era, before it got too crazy and it had to get shut down and stuff like that. So I would have honestly loved that. That would have been amazing. But yeah, you're right. Like, and this reminds me, since we're also talking about tapes, when I was watching the Surviving R. Kelly, they said that his tape was like being sold in the barbershops and everything else. So I was like, and my next question was like, did you ever like somehow get a hold of that tape? That was my next question I was going to ask you, since, like I said, you got some years on me and stuff like that, just a few years on me and stuff like that. So like, I didn't, since, with the garage, that's a throwback garage sale. People ain't doing, are people still doing garage sales?
Yeah, they are.
Oh, they are? Okay, well,
not as much, but yeah, they are.
Got you. Well, yeah, I was like, with the garage sale and everything, so you can find anything. Like, just what a time to have been alive. And Girls Gone Wild and stuff like that.
Yeah, we had that. Like, it was cool. I'm happy. I was born in 1990, and so I witnessed, a good amount of that era right before the internet popped. You know what I'm saying? Like a good enough amount of time. I really did grow up on, it didn't, like, I had the internet at that time by like 10 years old, the internet was starting, and it was a slow burn for a while.
But that AOL, that dial up, if you actually picked up the house phone, like, right, it was that was
I had, one time we said, because you would have to set it up with your area code or some shit, right? And it would charge you based on your area code. So where I live at, we have 2 area codes. But the one we're on like the border of, and somehow we clicked the wrong town, like me and my friend at the time. So we were getting charged like long distance phone call rates for being on the internet. Like, crazy shit, But, it was a good era, good times, fun times back in the day. But I hope that girl is good. I hope she doesn't fucking regret that shit, doing that shit so fucking young.
I mean, I think so. Sometimes you do kind of regret certain things that you were like, okay, now maybe she can use that as a pivotal moment of, all right, I can teach the youth, don't be like me. Get to know someone. For me personally, I don't want to have sex with nobody, like, unless they love me as much as I love them and they're not going anywhere. And the thing is, like, a lot of these guys who are, because I just had one dude in my DM today say, hey, let me suck on your titties. This was the 3rd message, right? And he's like an active gang member. And I'm like, last time I checked, I thought real Bloods and Crips ain't going to be online showcasing themselves, throwing up signs. I'm like, this youth, I said, bro, the youth now is like stupid. Like, at what point did it become like acceptable to show like gang signs and smoking weed on camera, showing my guns, let me show you my money? When did that become okay, right? But I think the thing is, hopefully she can, teach somebody. If she has children, say, hey man, don't be like me and stuff like that. Try to be better than what I did. This is why I did it and everything else.
Yeah, 1,000%. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hope that that she went that route with it. You know what I'm saying? Because You know, that could also, like, now as an adult, you know, looking back at shit like that, you know, you can kind of perceive things. You never know how someone's going to perceive something.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you could perceive, like, fucking whatever. Like I was with it. I remember as a kid, I was with it. But, like, you know, how someone could perceive that shit, you could perceive that shit like, yo, you raped me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how you could perceive it on your ends. You know what I mean? So, now that I really, really think about it. So, so I hope she.
See, and this is why, you know, this is therapeutic for both of us. We both thinking.
Hell yeah, you know, it makes you really think, you know, especially when your kid's that young and you don't know what the fuck you're doing, you know.
Mm-hmm. That's true. No, that's very true.
You know, and then I went a few years until, you know, once I became like a teenager, like a real actual legit teenager, that's when things started happening again. But yeah. Crazy.
Did you ever get caught by your parents, or did you ever catch, like, hear your parents walking on your parents at any point?
Nah, I didn't grow up. Well, I was like 3 when my parents got divorced, so I grew up with my mom. I grew up with my mom, and she was, you know, she
you didn't have like a stepdad or a special friend. Your mom had a special friend who would come over and.
Yeah, she would have a friend, but I think they would do things like my mom was the mom that, like, I love my mom, but she definitely had her, you know, her ups and her downs. So if she was gonna do some shit, she would have left my ass at home and got a hotel.
I was just about to say that to me is respectful. I was on a podcast with these guys, and they told me, said, "Man, Kyndra, I heard my parents like all the time," and I'm like, "That's just crazy. Come on now, leave the house," or something like that.
Yeah, that's how she would do it. Like, you know, there's always going to be a wrong at it. You know what I'm saying? So some would be like, oh, well, maybe she left you alone when you were too young. I was good as a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was good. I was one of those kids that if you left me alone, I was all right. And she barely ever left me alone. But the times that she would have, either she was going to do some other shit because my mom struggled with fucking drugs and drug abuse. Mm-hmm. So it was either some shit like that, going to get that, or if she was with a friend doing that. Because we all human, we all adults. You know what I'm saying? We got to have those moments. You know what I'm saying? So, But yeah, she was cool. I wouldn't be like, yo, what's that?
That's good. My parents had divorced. You know, they were separated, but by the time I was like 3 or 4, but they got officially divorced when I was 10. You know, 10 and a half actually. But, you know, of course they were already out the house and stuff like that. But I never heard my parents, never heard my mom. I not walked in on my brother, but he had the girl on the couch in the front room where the front door was open. And I'm like, bro, like, freaking stupid. But anyway, you know, and I called her Captain Underpants because she was meshing in with I thought, like, you know, because she was chocolate and my sofa was, you know, was black. So I thought it was nighttime. I thought it was just, you know, extra, like, pillow or whatever. So she meshed in with it until I saw, like, the underwear, and then I saw the leg move, and she looked at me, and I'm like, and I, you know, I didn't, you know, mollywop her that day, because I would have if I was in a bad mood. If she was, I would have been like, get the fuck out. And if she would have, like, said something, I would have came and drug her by her, you know, throat or something, and threw her out. And then I would have been like, go get her. Yeah. You get out too, before I drag you by your neck. Like, you don't do that. Like, you ain't paying no bills up in the house and you trying to get your freak on. I don't even get my freak on in this house, and I pay bills. All right.
Yeah.
You know, so with that being said, like, but I was high that day, so I was in a good mood. Had I not been high, it would have been bad. But she saw me. I walked to the kitchen, put my stuff down. She ran out that house, so she knew what time it was.
Yo, those are definitely the conversations that have to happen though. Like, because even as a parent, like, because on the flip side, right? So that was me as a kid, but then me as an adult. You know, when you live with somebody, you know what I'm saying? Like, and mom
was 3 doors down, Joe. Like, that's the worst part. Mom was 3 doors down.
Yo, thank God
in the house.
Thank God, my little one, when I was in a relationship with her mom, thank God she slept good. She was a good sleeper. Knocked the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? Thank fucking God for that.
I know.
I would not be able to deal with a light sleeper. A light sleeper as a kid? Nah. We're going to fuck your sleep all the way up. You know what I'm saying? Oh, shit. But this was dope, though. This was a dope conversation. I feel like we got to know each other. I feel like the listeners got to know us more. You know what I'm saying? This was really, really dope, yo.
And I feel like Matt's gonna call you back after the podcast is over.
Yeah, I want to know his percentage, man.
But more than likely, his percentage is gonna be the same as the first guy's. And
you think
yours.
mine? Like, yeah, because his was 25. I'm definitely saying 5 to 10%.
Yeah. You know, at least this was a little higher.
Yeah.
You know, but then again, also it's like, how often are you having new sexual partners as well? You know, that's also something that you gotta think about. If you had like if your body count's like 10, you know, and half of them want to use condoms, the other half, like, okay, 50% from the line. But if your body count's like 50 or 60 and only 10 girls, then yeah, so.
Yeah. It's interesting. I think you started a poll. I think we're going to do that, and we're going to do a poll for the fellas on Instagram. So I'm going to tag you on there. We're going to ask all the dudes, and then maybe we'll do a poll separate for the ladies, and we'll ask them, what is the percentage of what your partner wanted, if they were for it or if they were not for it?
I think we should do that.
Yeah, you should do it on your page as well, too. That'll be dope.
We should do that.
That would be interesting, yo. But so where can everyone find you on the socials?
Instagram is The Kyndra Crump Show. So TheKyndra M as in Mary, P as in Paul, show. And ain't no money sign for show. It's SHOW. I'm not trying to be no fake ass ASAP Rocky. Come on now. Too old for that. My YouTube is Kyndra Crump. My podcast is The Kyndra Crump Show. Same as my Instagram. Make sure you don't be that weird person sit here like about 5, 10, 15 posts and you ain't hit the follow button. Like if you're not gonna follow me on Instagram, follow me on YouTube. Subscribe to my podcast. Let me know once you slid in my DMs. I'm following you off one of these things. I don't give a damn what it is, okay?
Hey, let's go. Let's get it. Go follow her. Also, at the end of the show, I just have usually people shout out something that you think is dope, something that you think is popping, right? Something that's slept on, right? So it's slept on. So it could be a TV show that's slept on. It could be an individual. It could be a business. It could be a book. Just something that you think is slept on out here.
Common sense. And minding your business.
That's hilarious. Why is that?
Common sense is so rare. It should be a superpower. And mind you, if you work with the public long enough, your common sense might evaporate. Because there have been times, honey, I done had some slow moments, and I could feel the person, you know, helping me. It's like, this bitch is stupid. But no, minding your business. You should mind your business. That's the thing. People look at, like, I asked this random polling question about what's the difference between minding your business. When should you mind your business and when should you say something? And I think the thing about it is, like, I look at it like this. If it doesn't affect you directly, mind your business. You know, I try, you know, when it comes with marital relationship issues, I mind my business. Whatever God wants to reveal to you, he's going to reveal to you. Now, that's up to you want to deal with the information, because I done tried consoling and, you know, jumping in and picking sides, and they still go and choose them anyway. They stop befriending me and they'll go and be with them, you know? Yeah. So I have an issue with that. I'll say something like, I'm going to give you a perfect example. This literally happened to me over the weekend. Literally. Like, it's been crazy. I'm about to head to work on time. All right. Normally I'm on time, but I was going to be on time today. All right. About to head to work on time.
On time, 5 minutes early.
Yeah, 10 minutes maybe. You know, I'm about to head to work on time. And I'm walking outside. I live in some hood type of apartment, right? My windows are tinted. Whatever is in my car, I have it hidden. My passenger side window was busted in, right? And I was like, why did my alarm not go off? But people, they make their tools out there that they can use to try to, like, bust your windows and the alarm doesn't go off.
Wow.
You know, so my window was busted and I'm sitting here, you know, looking around like, am I being punked? Not only that, there's one of my favorite movies, A Thin Line Between Love and Hate. When Martin Lawrence was right before he, like, got to the police station, she had, like, threw a brick. No, she did. She threw a brick at his window and the mama was about to fight Lynn Whitfield, right? But then he got his car, his tires and wheels stolen at the police station. And that's why I was like, bro, like, did I piss off a woman? What man did I piss off? But here's the thing. I'm going to tell you this. It was this guy. I'm standing outside. I'm on the phone with the insurance company, the police, everybody. They stole my rolling tray and weed, right? And I was like, bro, like freaking junkies. Anyway, back to the story. This guy, he's driving by. He says, hey, they got your car? And I said, yes. I'm like, I don't even know who it is. I said, the fact that we live in the hood, nobody's going to say nothing. He's like, I know who it was. I saw them. It was 1:30. They had hoods on. I saw one of their he had his face out, but he was trying. And here's the worst part, right? The police was in the neighborhood at that time, and they weren't even paying attention to these boys walking around looking suspicious and everything else, right? So he told me, he says, because what I was going to do was I was trying to chase them down. I was going to hit them with my car and, whatever. But, and then he told me why he couldn't do it or whatever. No. He said because he saw the police behind him. He thought the police was going to end up getting them. But by the time he pulls over and the police drove by, these boys just ran for it. And then, of course, he goes inside because he's like, okay, I'm tired. He kept checking to see if they were going to come out. And by the time he actually went inside, maybe 30 minutes or 40 or about an hour later, they came and they attacked my car. But of course, my car wasn't they tried everybody's car, but they just checked my car and, broke into it and stuff like that. But one thing I realized is life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% how you deal with it.
Yeah.
And I
say that one more time for the people in the back.
Life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% how you deal with it. Complaining ain't going to do you no good. Like, it ages you. Like, I honestly believe, like, so you can, as a gangster, be emotional for 5 minutes and then go on about your day. I'm not upset about that. Look, I got a nice little rental car. Okay, I got a nice little rental car. I might have to like trade in this car. I'm like, can I keep this car just because? So I got a nice little rental car. I was able to patch up my passenger side window, and I'm just gonna have to wait till the safe light comes out so they can fix the window, stuff like that. But these are some young teenage boys and everything else. But this goes to show with everything, that's not when you mind your business. When you see something, you say something. Because if somebody broke into your house, if somebody stole something from you, you're gonna want to know who did it.
Yep.
Stuff like that. So, and
sometimes things are a learning lesson because maybe that needed to happen for them to learn that lesson that now they need to speak up in different circumstances.
Maybe so.
You never know what. Like, I'm a firm believer everything happens for a reason, and sometimes it's bigger than us, and sometimes it's out of us. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it's in other people's things that we're just like a bypass of.
And I kind of wonder, I was like, I kind of wonder, and here, I'm going to tell you, there's a positive out of every negative. The positive thing is, they didn't touch, I had my graduation, my transcript, they didn't touch that. They didn't get nothing else in the car that was really more so necessary, but they got, the other things. But I kept thinking, I'm like, was there a lesson to be learned from this? Because again, no matter where you go, crime is going to be there. Even if you're in a very nice neighborhood, there's still going to be some type of crime. Like, you can't escape that. But I just really hope that these young boys, whomever they are, I hope, and any young boy out there, you guys know people, like, you got to teach your children young. Do not steal. People work hard for their stuff. Don't steal. Don't take none of that's yours. Don't touch nothing that's yours. Don't do that. And I'm a very caring, and again, I don't want people to think, oh man, Joe, where you find this girl? This girl from a brothel, she be partying with Snoop Dogg. No, I'm not no smoker. I'm every blue moon type person, but I'm a person, I will share that. Like, if you want to hit here, you can have the whole blunt. There you go. You can take it home with you. That's the type of person that I am. I'm a caring person. Like, sharing is caring, except STDs. Quit sharing that, y'all. Okay.
Yeah. Don't go raw again.
But I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on. This was a nice little lengthy conversation. We could have been here till the next day, but we got things to do, especially.
Yeah, nah. This is usually how my podcast run. This is about the time frame. You know what I'm saying? This is about what it is. So this was really, really dope. And what you said about the perspective and how you react to it, that is extremely true. Like, I will double down on that a million times. You know what I'm saying? 90% of how you is how you react to it. Your whole entire life would change based on how you react to certain things. Like, trust me. And if anyone needs help adjusting to that way and trying to rethink things or see different things from a different light, message me. Y'all already know I'm always, willing to help anybody out. But perspective is really, really key. You know what I'm saying? Perspective is key. And control the controllables. You know what I'm saying? If you can't control it, fuck it. Don't stress it. If you can control it, make a plan and make it happen. So my shout out is going to be, shout out to Mikey, one of my very, very close friends. He's like a brother to me. He, don't want to say shout out to him because his daughter's birthday, she had a half birthday the other day. And it was just so lit. And I think that was like slept on because it's so like, at the same time, while it's like kind of corny to do a half birthday, it was fucking dope because she's a winter baby, just like me. I'm born in the winter. And sometimes it's dope to celebrate some shit in the summer. So she did a half birthday. So she's like, I'm halfway. You
start doing those.
Yeah, it was cool. It was just a dope
My
vibe.
half birthday will be in November. Yeah, I'm gonna start doing those.
It was cool. It was fun. It was a good time, yo. Like, we got to kick it and we had a little barbecue and shit. So it was dope. I think those things are slept on. So
I want to ask you something real quick, Joe. Real quick, once you finish with what
you got?
Have you ever had something stolen from you before? Like somebody tried breaking into your house or what'd you have stolen from you?
I had stolen from me some DVDs and a chain. Like a necklace.
Did you ever figure out who did it?
Yeah.
Did you open up a can of whoop on them?
They denied it to the fucking day.
Really? Yeah. Still to this day?
Yeah.
They denied. Like 20 years? How'd you realize it was them who had stolen?
Someone else that was in the house told me, and someone that like I wouldn't even really question what they told me.
Got you. Still to this day, they denied it. But you know what? I'm pretty sure their life is horrible. I'm pretty sure because I'm telling you, man, bad karma, deed goes undone.
Well, yeah, karma. Like I don't believe the whole life, but they got back for that. I had that. I had a cell phone stolen from me. Actually, I had two phones.
I've had a cell phone stolen from me too.
Yo, one time it was this kid. Like it was kind of like around. I was like a teenager and shit. Some dude that was hanging around the way and shit. We would kick it, and then one day we go to the grocery store, and I'm in line buying some shit. He's like, "Bro, can I use your phone? Let's go outside and make a phone call." Yeah, bro. I had a cool phone. I had the Nextel. See, we going back this episode. Sure. Yeah, I had one of those. It was see-through blue. Had the blue little antenna. Shit was popping. And I've never seen that guy after that since then. And then the last final real quick story.
Wait, hold on. Yeah. So he went outside to use your phone and he just like, you turn your back, he was gone?
No, because I was still in line paying for the stuff in the grocery store. Okay. And he was like, I'm going to go outside, be on the phone. I haven't seen him since. And this was like 06.
Wait. Yeah. Wait, now he just ran off on the plug twice. Ran off on the plug.
Moved and everything. So then I had another time, right? Because I've always flipped phones, right? So that was always a thing I've always done. So I've always flipped phones and sold phones. So one time it was when I was I was still living with Jaylene and her mom, and it was like 2 weeks before Christmas, and we kind of needed some extra bread. So we were like, all right, fuck it, we're gonna sell it. She was always wanted to sell her phone. She was like, I'll sell my phone if I have to for like a week or two, and then we'll figure this shit out, right? So she was like, all right, I'm gonna sell my phone, and I found someone that wanted to buy it, and it was in the hood, but I was like, I'll be good because I'll be around. So I'm like, I'm good. So I go there, but I guess I got too comfortable. It was cold, right? And I didn't get out the car. And I was doing a transaction in the car. And he's like looking at the phone and shit. And then I was like, actually, I might have a second phone that I might be selling soon. He's like, oh yeah, let me see that one. I gave him my phone. The second I gave him my phone, he ran off with both phones. Yo. I reversed. He
jumped out of the car and ran.
Yeah, no, he wasn't in the car. He was standing outside at the window. I was in the car. It was cold, and I thought it was going to be a quick transaction. So I'm in the driver's seat, and he's on the passenger side. So I'm going through, and I'm showing him like that. And then the second I gave him my phone, because he already had my ex's phone at the time. So he was looking at that one. I was like, yeah, I might be selling this phone too. And the second he looks at it, he fucking takes it and runs. And I was on a one-way. Yo, I reversed so fast through the alleyway and then through someone's backyard. I got out of that car. He was already opping over a fence. And it was just not happening.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
But has there ever been anybody that you did actually hunt down, like chase down and like once you realized they had your stuff, you like beat them up? I mean, I know you said this guy still to this day.
It was close though. We were real close. Like I said, it was the closest I got, but he was already over the fence. And I was like, at that point, like I said, I was deep in a hood that I had no business being in anyway.
Of course.
So, even if I would have kept it going, it was like, was it worth it? It wouldn't have been worth it. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? That's why I like telling these stories, because you can sit back and laugh. I don't have money still stolen from me.
But it hurt
my
though.
family. No, it really does hurt. Like I was when like fighting back tears. Like on Saturday, I was fighting back tears because I'm like, bro, like there should be no reason why this happened to me, man.
Yeah.
Like no reason why and stuff like that. But talking to other people and we're all sharing our stolen stories, it makes you feel like, okay, we're all one.
Yeah, it happens to all of us.
That's true. That's true. Somebody had told me they had somebody, this girl, they were sharing lockers in high school. She stole her coat. I said, how'd you know? Because she wore it the next day to school. I was like, as if I wasn't going to see it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So that's my coat. It ain't your coat. That's my coat.
People do some wild shit, yo. Like, and then with that one was crazy because I had to go back to the house with no phone and no money. Both of our phones got jacked. Her phone got jacked that she was trying to make some money from, and we were both trying to make the money for Christmas so we could make, because it'd be hard out here sometimes. So we were trying to get some money for Christmas to do the damn thing right. Mm-hmm. And I woke up in the crib with no money and both phones gone. Mm-mm. As a man, that was tough, but I had to eat it up. And
it's okay. And these lessons teach you something. I've had people say, well, Kyndra, I've had someone say, man, somebody broke into my car, and my car was like literally like see-through glass, everything. You can't find nothing, but they still broke into their car thinking something was hidden, and they didn't find nothing. Someone said, it literally is freaking. I'm like, man, like y'all find something else better, but somebody to play with. But I'm like, you know what? God, like I said, God deals with them. But I definitely appreciate you having me on and everything else. This was actually a pretty good episode, and you need to come on my podcast. You invited.
Yes.
Friday nights at 9 p.m.
When is it?
Friday, typically on Fridays at 9 p.m.
Yeah, send me the info and stuff in the DM. We'll make it happen. Yeah, that'll be dope.
That works.
That'll be dope. We'll get to it, yo. But yeah, this was dope. Everyone, go follow her now or else. All right. Also, we are probably going to stay tuned to our social medias because we do have a music therapy event coming up. We're looking at July 15th. July 15th is going to be the day. So a music therapy night and jam out with some local music artists, some local talent. So we're doing that. Also, you guys already know this podcast is brought to you by and sponsored by Audible. All right, you go get your free book at audibletrial.com/therapy-without-a-degree. Go get your free audiobook. And you also get a free month membership. You can cancel at any time. All right. And it's also sponsored by Jersey Media. That is my marketing and branding business. All right. Let's get your business running. Let's get you some followers. Let's get your business attention. That's what I do. You guys already know. And we out of here. Therapy Without a Degree, Chapter 204 or Chapter 205. Peace.